Joshua chapter 15. This then was the lot of the tribe of the children of Judah by their families, even the border of Edom, the wilderness of Zin. Southward was the uttermost part of the south coast. And their south border was from the shore of the salt sea, from the bay that looketh for southward. And it went out the south side to Malachrebim, and passed along to Zim, and ascended up to the south side onto Kadesh Barnea, and passed along to Hezron, and went up Adar, and fetched to compass Karka. From thence it passed towards Asmon, and went out onto the river of Egypt. And the goings out of the coast were at the sea. This shall be your south coast. And the east border was the salt sea, even unto the land of Jordan. And their border in the north quarter was from the bay of the sea at the uttermost part of the Jordan. And the border went up to Beth Hoglah, and passed along by the north of Betharabah. And the border went up to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben. And the border went up towards Debir from the valley of Achor, so northward, looking towards Gilgal, that is before the going up to Adumim, which is on the south side of the river. And the border passed towards the waters of En-shemesh, and the goings out thereof were at En-rogel. And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom unto the south side of the Jebusite, the same as Jerusalem. And the border went up to the top of the mountain that lieth before the valley of Hinnom, westward, which is the end of the valley of the giants, northward. And the border was drawn from the top of the hill unto the fountain of the water of Nephtoah, and went out to the cities of Mount Ephron. And the border was drawn to Bala, which is Kirjath Jearim. And the border compassed from Bala westward unto Mount Seir, and passed along unto the side of Mount Jearim, which is Chesalon, on the north side, and went down to Beth Shemesh, and passed on to Timnah. And the border went out unto the side of Ekron northward, and the border was drawn unto Shikron, and passed along Mount Bala, and went on to Jebneel, and the goings out of the border were at the sea. And the west border was to the great sea, and the coast thereof. This is the coast of the children of Judah, round about according to their families. And unto Caleb the son of Jephunneh he gave a part among the children of Judah, according to their commandment of the Lord. To Joshua, even the city of Arba, the father of Anak, which city is Hebron. And Caleb drove thence the three sons of Anak, Sheshai, and Hyman, and Talmai, the children of Anak. And he went up thence to the inhabitants of Debir, and the name of Debir was Kirjath-sepher. And Caleb said, He that smiteth Kirjath-sepher, and take it, to him will I give Achas, my daughter, to wife. And Othniel the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, took it, and he gave him Achaz, his daughter, to wife. And it came to pass, as she came unto him, and she moved him to ask of her father a field, and she lighted her ass. And Caleb said unto her, What wouldest thou? Who answered, Give me a blessing, for thou hast given me a south land. Give also springs of water. And he gave her upper springs, and the nether springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Judah, according to their families. And the othermost cities of the tribe of the children of Judah toward the coast of Edom southward were Kebzeel, and Eder, and Jagur, and Kinnah, and Deminah, and Adada, and Kadesh, and Hazor, and Ithnan, and Ziph, and Telem, and Beloth, and Hezron, and Hedah, and Kerioth, and Hezron, which is Hazor, Amam, and Shema, and Moldah, and Hazar-Gath, and Heshwan, and Beth-Palet, and Hazar-shual, and Beersheba, and Jothjah, Bala, and Eam, and Azim, and El-Tolad, and Jasil, and Hormah, and Ziklag, and Madmah, and Sansa, and Leboath, and Shilhim, and Ain, and Rimmon. And all the cities were 20 with their villages, and the valleys of Eshtaol, and Zorah, and Ashnan, and Zonoah, and Inganim, and Pua, and Enam, and Jarmuth, and Adullam, and Sok, and Azekah, and Sharim, and Editham, and Jedara, and Jedaritham, 14 cities with their villages, Zenan, and Hadiah, and Migdalad, and Diliam, and Mizpah, and Joktheel, Lachish, and Bakath, and Eglon, and Kabam, and Lamam, and Kithlish, and Gederoth, and Beth Dagon, and Naaman, and Mechadiah, 16 cities with their villages, Libnah, and Ether, and Ashan, and Ziphah, and Ashan, and Nezib, and Keilah, and Akzib, and Marashah, 9 cities with their villages, Ekron with her towns and her villages, from Ekron even unto the sea, all that lay near Ashdod with their villages, Ashdod with her towns and her villages, Gaza with her towns and her villages, unto the river of Egypt, and the great sea and the border thereof, and the mountains, Shimar, and Jatir, and Succoth, and Dana, and Karajeth-Sana, which is Debir, and Anab, and Eshtemoth, and Anim, and Goshen, and Holon, and Geulah, 11 cities with their villages, Arab, and Duma, and Eshian, and Janum, and Beth Tupah, and Aphekah, and Mutah, and Jereth-Kbah, which is Hebron, and Ziar, 9 cities with their villages, Maon, Carmel, Ziph, and Judah, and Jizreel, and Jokdeam, and Zanoah, Cain, Zebiah, and Timnah, 10 cities with their villages, Halhul, Bethzur, Gedor, Marath, and Bethanoth, and Elikon, 6 cities with their villages, Kirjabal, which is Kirijath-Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities with their villages in the wilderness, Beth-Barbah, Middin, Sekah, Nibshan, and the city of Salt, and En-Gedi, 6 cities with their villages. As for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the cities of Judah could not drive them out, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Judah at Jerusalem unto this day. Chapter 15.